us really, George, then, what is the state of the market at the moment? Obviously, COVID, everything needs to start there. It's been a crazy, crazy year. Presumably you're doing everything online. How has that been?
Okay, so from someone that was offline, so on land, coming online was daunting, to say the least, because even though you might feel that it's a space that you can reach millions of people, which you can, the word saturated, you're going to hear a lot. However, once you bypass the real purpose and why you're on there, the word saturated, which a lot of people that want to come into the industry that get feared through the saturation, it dissolves immediately because we have this idea of who we want to serve. So to answer a question of like, what's it like? The thought of it is fearful. The thought of it is, scary, to say the least, to make you feel to the point where you've got so much motivation to do it, but then it just procrastinates because of the scale of what you've got to be online to reach who you want to reach. And what can really cut through that is knowing who you want to serve. That's really, really important. And when the youth come on and they become personal trainers, like myself, so I am no different. We want to help everyone. What ends up is serving no one. We serve no one. And from that, for example, I had 16-year-old children as being my clients, and then I had 54-year-old, mother of 3. It's like, how could I relate? I just couldn't. And and it wasn't the whole reason, but my transition was being made pre-COVID. It was just because I was finding out my purpose, the reason why I'm here. It's not for me. So I need to find out how I can really direct my attention to the people that I can really serve. So this is where you find what's known as your avatar and your ideal client. So if there was any kind of big advice on, how you would go into the fitness industry, is who would you want to serve? That is the ultimate question. Once you've got that, online, offline, on land, whatever. However, that being said, I was going to come and say, I don't really know what the outlook is, but that's really, no one knows. And that's the thing that we're all now involved in. No one knows. The only thing that I can say is that what we have learned in COVID is that health is priority, absolute priority. So people would want that to be leveraged. They can do what they can do at home, but there'll be a certain time where they're going to need some assistance. And that assistance comes from training, personal training, not even going to a gym. You need to go to the gym to find the trainer, of course, if you're that kind of person that wants a personal trainer. So that being said, those that are located in these areas, so that if they're in a position where they can be seen, then it's going to be, I was going to say it's not lucrative, but they're going to have much more of an opportunity, 100%. Those that want to get into the fitness industry online, then again, you've got an opportunity as well through your avatars, because people are going to be directing their attention to you. You've just got to be presenting yourself in front of people, which is another conversation altogether. But again, I'm trying to answer the question is in like the opportunities is massive to become a coach, a trainer, a personal trainer in the fitness industry, because once those doors open, it might take a little bit of time, but they will be filled because people are so aware of their health. And they want what I call the wealth in health. I run programs, and wealth in health is one of them, to find the fitness in their business. And the business is the body. So they got to look at their body as the business. And the business has got different departments, different faculties that you've got to take care of. You've got to make sure every single one is fine. So with that, you've got to, number one, look after your health first. And how you would do that, if you don't know, you could obviously go online, YouTubes and what have you. You could do all of that. But if you're going to go into like a fitness center, then that is your place of leverage. And that's how I would see it. Everyone knows how to like exercise, train, but the accountability is massive. So it's the accountability that people would want to get in shape. And if you present yourself in front of those people that you want to serve, it's a golden opportunity.
That's great. In fact, maybe COVID is a great time to set up as a PT or a fitness instructor, whatever. Now, in terms of how would Heidi get there? Is there a golden standard? You know, is there an organization for personal trainers? How would she do it?
Yeah, so it'll be about you getting qualified first. If you're, and again, it depends on who you want to serve and where you want to be serving from. If you want to be the online coach, there's very little that you need, very little in terms of qualifications. What you do need is insurance, and that's why you're getting qualified. So this country is a bit weird because you don't need to be qualified to train people. You just need to be insured. So to be insured, you need to get qualified. It's, you know, it's a paradox. But yeah, your first step is to get a level 2 gym instructors course under your belt. And there are many online. And I don't know if I could put myself out there, but I'm a tutor. So if you do want any more information about the courses that we run, I'm not going to say I run, we run, then you're more than welcome to speak to me about it. And through my, I mean, that's what I do right now. I guide students to get qualified in COVID times. So you don't even need to see a gym to get qualified, but we go real deep into making sure that everything is put into place so that you are going to be experienced enough to understand and handle the situations within a gym environment. But again, through doing the courses, you will get an understanding of what you want to do anyway. No one will tell you, but you do need level 2, bottom line. Yeah.
And how long is one of those courses, George?
Okay, so I'll talk from my experience, and we run courses at level 2. You can get it in 4 to 5 weeks. 5 to 6 weeks is the ideal time, but you can put your foot to the metal, you know, pedal to the metal, and you can get it done in a month. But realistically speaking, 5 weeks, yeah, you're good to go with your level 2. So the one that we do is combined with level 3 as well. And you can go through in 3 months, but I would give a 4-month gap, really. I would like, you know, time block 4 months for that, if you was going to work with our industry. There are other providers that will sell you a story and they will say, yeah, you can get it done in 8 weeks. You can, but you'll be limited in your knowledge and your skill set, very limited, you know.
And in terms of naming some of those providers, I mean, I remember when I was doing it, it was YMCA, it was one, is that right? One training?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about one. I think there was, I mean, YMCA is what I did. Yeah. I went on a YMCA course, but mine was all offline. Active IQ is the governing body that we are providing our courses from. They are brilliant. Like, they're really deep in their like, they don't let you get away with anything, you know. And we're not the only ones to provide. I'm not saying Active IQ because we provide it. If you're going to go on any provider, so if you're going to go on an online course, and they're doing Active IQ, anyone, you know, whoever they've sanctioned to provide their content, they can. So that they are the content providers, we are the learning providers. So whatever learning provider you go on, they will probably have Active IQ, YMCA as their base. But Active IQ are SIMSA governed. So SIMSA are like our governing body.
Yeah.
And
yeah. In terms of cost, how much is?
Again, that's variable as well. So you can look in between. Now deals are incredible now. Like we're offering under £1,000 for both, and you can get £500 all the way up to £2,500. It depends. So your scope is about you researching and finding out what they're promising you and look at the details in that, what they're offering you. A lot of people would say get qualified, and that'll be level 2, whereas it's like get a diploma, level 2 and level 3. So it's a bit wordy that you've got to look at. Or some providers, they say to you level 2, and then you've got the option to go level 3, and they give you like this base price. So you'll be looking level 3, honestly, about $1,500. Yeah, 1.5 is a fair rate. It used to be 2 across the board, but there's so much competition. There are people doing it for £800. There are people doing it for £2,000. Which one do you go for? It's what you feel like intrinsically, instinctively, however you feel by talking to the people. That's important. So we've got administrators, and they talk to people, and they say, right, well, I've got to talk to such and such. I've got to do my research. I've got to do my homework. Go do it. And we actually give numbers. We give, go chase whoever you want, not a problem. And then what happens is we get a lot of comeback on that. Hi, Heidi. Sorry.
Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you. Would you say, because I've seen a level 1 course advertised, but it's a walking football level 1 course, but it incorporates, similar sort of things to what you would learn. Do you think there'd be any merit in doing that? It's free of charge, so I've got nothing, to lose other than your time. And I do play walking football.
Well, you've said it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, you said it. You've answered your own question. There will be merit because you play the game, and it does give you some understanding of what's coming up. And it's free.
Yeah.
Normally free.
That is the beauty of being in your position, Heidi, that you can try these things out, and especially if it's free and you're in the sport. I mean, I was like, I think you should do it. I think you should do it, Heidi. And also, so tell me about, George, the sort of age group we're talking about, the over 50s. Have you seen, both in as a coach, both coaches, both as a personal trainer and as someone who delivers these courses, have you seen any kind of uptake in an older age bracket, like?
I love this question because I get excited. Now, I've got like a lot of young students, but recently, professional footballers have come, and I'm coaching professional footballers as well. Professional footballers have told their coaches are now doing it, so they can see the value in it. So I was speaking to a new on-board student last week. He was, obviously I'm not going to say his name, but he was like 48 and like really excited about getting on this new journey. He's now dealt with football all his life, and now he wants to go into this pathway. So yeah, I see that there is a definite affiliation with health. I think it's just COVID letting people know how important health is, and people have found out what is immune system, what is nutrition, in like the basic settings. No one even knows the basic settings. They're hearing like vitamin D is good for you, and then broccoli is good for you because it's got vitamin C and all B vitamins. So people are look, I've got to get more deeper into this because it's quite easy. What we're hearing is quite easy. So how can I apply it? And the reason why I love the question is because being over 50, you have got a completely different skill set. You have got experience, you have got compassion, you have got empathy as a default. It's like it's indoctrinated in, it's DNA. And I love that because it sorts out your avatar full stop. That's what it does. You don't need to seek, really. People see you. That when you said about old, no, it's not old. It's experience. People see experience, and I was going to say mature, but it's not even mature. It really isn't. It's experience. When people look at you, they see experience, and that's the key part of things. Once they see experience, they can relate and they're drawn to you. It's not even about, again, it's trying to really hard to not come out you can connect it to spiritualism. You can connect it to, you know, the law of attraction. I don't really believe too much in the secrets kind of things, but the law of attraction is an absolute, you know, and that's energy. So people feel your energy. When you're a certain age, people understand because they've lived on this land for a while. So this is where you can position yourself in a way that you can't be touched by the youth. You just cannot be, you know, and you can get into the industry. And I see a lot of people say about money don't rule you, or money will never rule anyone. But what money does is give you the opportunities. It gives you the freedom. And this arena is lucrative if you are positioning yourself to the people that want your services. So you can't help everyone. You've got to help your smallest viable market. And that's where the impatient patient come in. So we're at an age where we're still impatient, but we're a hell of a lot more patient. And I guess that's your attribute. That is your not your flaw, your character, you know, and that's what we've learned to a degree. And I guess that is what would serve you. So being 50 plus, getting into this industry, you are required. Simple as that. And also, if you're going to get into a gym, don't forget, people are now going to come out of COVID. They've found out about their health. They're at an age where they think, I can't be helped. No, you can be helped. You know, they go into the gym, they see you there. That's it. It's connection. It's magic. You are in such a position.
And the way I've been telling my friends now is kind of what we need to do now is make sure that we are harder to kill. That is, I mean, I can't believe when people say, oh, you know, I've put on so much weight over, you know, during lockdown. I'm like, well, surely this is the time that we need to make sure that we are as hard to kill as possible.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I like that. I like that. I'll use that as a tagline.
Yeah, sorry, my next question was going to be, because like you say, Heidi, in terms of like being outside and cycling, I wonder whether George, I mean, obviously you don't have a you know, a magic ball, but do you think that people will be more reluctant to get into a gym now that they realize that they can do it at home or outside, you know, because we've been through the worst of the weather. And, you know, myself, you know, we're lucky enough to have a gym in the garage, and I've been doing my personal training via a platform in the garage. And it took me months before I actually met my now personal trainer. And I'm like, you know, I can totally do it. It's totally fine, because it is hard sometimes to motivate yourself. It's exactly what George was saying with the accountability, which I think is so important. And that sometimes that's, you know, Heidi, don't be fooled. You know, you will do a lot of training when you train to be a personal trainer, but you don't necessarily do loads of training when you're training other people. You're mainly just shouting at them.
That's a great point that you raised, Anna. And I'm glad you raised it, because it's been something on my mind as well. And I don't want to be sounding the ageist, but I think that the opportunity comes more towards the mature, the experienced. They will look to go outside. 100%. Like you, Heidi, already you've said about the walking football, you know. You've already said about just now the drumming yoga, is it? Is that what it's called?
Oh, it's not yoga, my friend.
Not yoga.
Aggro.
It's known as, I've seen it called drum fit or cardio drumming.
Right. Okay. Sorry. Because you said you getting a yoga position, but yeah, and also cycling as well. All of them are outdoors, the recreational, which we found out that we can do this. You know, I was gym rat. That's what I was. And by being gym rat, I am just much more happier, more fulfilled. My mind state is just so much more calmer, everything, by going for the walks and being outside. So even as a seasoned, you know, PT, the gym is not for me, you know, because again, my age is just all about, you've got to get outside. So what do I think? I think there'll be a split. And I think that if you position yourself, Heidi, for the recreational activities that you're interested in, there will be others that are sharing your mindset. And with that, you'll be in touch with them more, like with that energy, with that frequency. So number one is to get qualified regardless of whatever you're doing. And because when you do get qualified, you still get to train out in different environments. That's part of the criteria of any course, that you've got to know how to train people in different environments. So it's not about being in the gym. You learn gym instructing to get qualified, but you also learn how you can train people in different environments. And that's exactly what you're saying. So, and then to answer your question, Anna, I think that, yeah, there will be a definite shift in who goes to the gym and who goes outside. Absolutely definite shift. And I think it's more to do with your age.
Yeah, I think you might be right. I mean, I hadn't really thought about it until I asked the question, but I think you're right. I think the young people will kind of feel like, well, as you do when you're young, right? Like we're invincible, so we're not going to get it in the gym. And the, you know, perhaps the older people may just think, gonna just stay outside for a little bit longer.
Bit cautious.
Yeah. And I think that's, you know, fair or not. But yeah, and I do genuinely believe in this, like, just like you said, George, that people's awareness of health generally has, I mean, it's on the forefront of everyone's mind. If it isn't, where have you been for the last year? I mean, gosh, I really shouldn't be doing this interview because I'm such a fan of this. Having someone who's like playing devil's advocate, I can't do that because I really enjoyed my years as a PT, and I love exercise, and I think everyone should be doing it, obviously. But Heidi, I think that you must simply at least do the free version. The level 1 is, you must come back to us and say that you've done it.
Okay. The problem is,
no pressure, but do.
It starts, I think it's on the 24th of this month, and now on the 30th, walking football starts again. So it's on the same night that walking football is. So I'd have to kind of miss 5 weeks of walking football, to do the course.
Oh, right.
Yeah. That's the only negative with it.
I don't see that as negative at all. That's 5 weeks of you educating yourself. It's not a negative.
And walking football will still be there.
Can I ask you about, you do the level 1. What's next in terms of?
I don't know, to be honest. That's why I was sort of thinking, and I thought, I bet the college will be absolutely amazed that somebody who's female would even put themselves forward for this, because I thought, I can't imagine they'll get that many people who will, I couldn't imagine any young people thinking, oh, well, yes, I'll do a course that's around walking football. They'd all just want to do football, wouldn't they?
That's why they're probably aiming at someone exactly like you. So you can become like an ambassador. I mean, this sounds to me that this is your road, this is your path, this is your journey. So if you
I'm with George. I think it totally is. I think you need to, I want to make you a banner. Go Heidi. Absolutely.
And if it does need that you need qualification, then you go level 2. I would look to, I never want to say that. I don't want to say my advice. However intrinsically you feel, because you've come on here and you've talked to us about this football, it's obviously something that, gives you vibrancy, gives you enlightenment, gives you empowerment. So go with it. That's what you're drawn to. That's what it sounds like to me. Whatever's pulling you, go to it. And then if you find out after level 1, if we can be of assistance, then go for it,
What he said.
Not hold back on this one. Definitely not.
You've definitely motivated me.
Oh, super. It's about you inspiring yourself now. Motivation is temporary.
And also sometimes you need to just go with it. And then, inspiration and motivation will come. Great. Thank you so much. Thank you, George. It's been really, really great talking to you.
You too. Thank you. I'm honored.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Sorry, George. I did mean to ask. Have you got, a website or Facebook page or something that I can follow?
You can go on my Insta. I'm on every social media platform. You can go onto my Instagram, so that's TrainWise. You can go onto my YouTube as well, because I download my stretches. I do a morning stretch every single day, and I download it on my YouTube, and that's TrainWise George.
Thank you so much. Thank you, George. It's been really, really great talking to you.